Hello, class 12. This is the story of your literature section. The title of the story is The Treasure in the Forest, written by H.G. Wells. I'm Dr. Bhawani Adhikari, and I have brought this short idea for you to understand the story, and it may become helpful for your exam preparation. The Treasure in the Forest is an ominous adventure story. Ominous means bad luck, that adventure story. In this story, there are two characters, Ivan and Hooker. They search for Spanish treasure. They go there in the Spanish forest in search for treasure. They are greedy for wealth and they do not become aware of the safety of their health, of their life, right? The story shows that power and greed corrupt, spoil, destroy, and take the life of human beings. It means power is not always good. Greed is not good. It can destroy the life, take the life. They sail in a canoe. Canoe means boat to reach the treasure of the forest. They read a map that was folded and worn out, and it could be dimly understood. That means the map was folded, it was old, torn out, and it was not easy to understand. They read the map and move ahead through the help of the map. The language of the map was Chinese and they failed to make it out, means understand well. Alright? It was written in Chinese language and both these Ivan and Hooker did not understand the language very well. Hooker put the map in his pocket and began to paddle the canoe. Means before Ivan was just rowing the canoe. Now Hooker put the map. They studied and then put the map in his pocket and started just paddling the canoe. Both of them were thirsty. It was sunny day. They got drinkable water and killed their thirst. Means they drank the water. It was sunny day. They were so near the treasure, but Ivan was not as excited as he had hoped before. Ivan began to doze and he was dimly conscious of the island. That means when Hooker started rowing the boat, that canoe, and Ivan was dozing, sleeping in the canoe. He had a dream about how the treasure was there in the forest. He saw in the dream who had put that Changi had put that treasure in the forest, right? In the dream, Tsiangi scared him, means the person who had put the treasure before, threatened him in the dream, struggled to hold him back from the treasure to carry from there. In the dream, Ivan wanted to carry the just treasure, but Tsiangi threatened him, controlled him, scared him, tried him to control. Ivan saw in his dream heaps and heaps of gold, but Changi was a big yellow brute, means uncivilized, big man, yellow color man. He kept growing bigger, bigger and bigger he was in the dream becoming, right? Then the bright heap of gold turned to a roaring furnace. Furnace is fire. That gold turned, changed into a roaring fire. Changi with a huge black tail began to feed him with coals. Means that Changi in the dream started eating himself with a huge black tail, right? That was the dream that he saw. The coals burned his mouth horribly, and another devil was shouting Ivan his name, calling him, "You sleepy fool!" Right? When Ivan saw that Changi had turned himself, right, cool, and then there was another devil. That devil was shouting his name and calling him, "You sleepy fool," because he was sleeping and he was a fool. It was a warning to them about the risks to their life there. It was not necessary to go there and to take the treasure, but they did not care about it and went into the dense forest. They reached the treasure, but they saw there was a dead body near the tree where there was a treasure. There was a spade too, and there were scattered heaps of stones. Means that dead man was a Chinese man. He had already dug the hole, and he was dead there. And just in some of the scattered heaps of stones were there. there was a freshly dug hole, and the dead man had dug the hole. He wanted to carry that treasure. Changi had buried the treasure with safety measures. When Changi had buried that, he was very conscious of his health, and with the safety measures he had buried there. But these people did not have the knowledge how risky it was, and it was risky for others to take it without care. They did not know how to take care about this risk. Ivan and Hooker took the plates or ignot of gold with their bare hands, means empty hand. They did not follow the safety. Ivan's hand was pricked, means pricked by a little thorn that was poisonous. Thorns were poisonous there. Hooker and Ivan tried to lift the ignores, means plates of gold, to take away up to the canoe, but Ivan could not bend his hands, and he died fast. Later, Hooker too died in the forest. That means both of them were poisoned by the thorny just thorns they were put around that plates of the gold by Changi, and they did not know that the dead man was dead because of the poison that he got from the thorns, and they should have become conscious about it. Both of them lost their lives in vain in the search for treasure. They failed to comprehend, means understand, that life was more important than the treasure that they were hunting for. It had a moral message that we must be satisfied with what we have and should not be too greedy for wealth. If we become too greedy for wealth, we can lose our life. In other words, it is to sow poverty, hard labor, miserable living style of life that forces one to risk the life, like Ivan and Hooker of the story. It has to show the lifestyle of the true picture of poverty and misery. Because of poverty, they might have gone there. They were greedy for the property. It reveals the coexistence of cruelty and compassion, and the mystery behind reality in the life of the poor. The human response to those who are weak, dependent, and different people who are unaware of life risk their lives for wealth. It is also human nature that is related to curiosity, because people are always curious to know what is there. So they were curious. These two people were curious to find out the treasure, and they visited there with the risk and greed and cruelty. Right? People are quite greedy. People are cruel. It shows even the exploitation of strangers for their own advantage, but it has a greater risk to save a life. So the story shows that we human beings should not be too much greedy. We should understand what is right and what is wrong. We should not be mad for the wealth, and we should not become like Ivan and Hooker if we want to be safe in our life. Because life is much more important than the property, than the wealth. Is these two boys did not try to think about it on time, and they lost their life meaninglessly in vain. This is all about the story in short, and I think it would be useful for your understanding of the story. Thank you very much.